What's up, guys? DJ here at Top Deck Cards and Games with another deck profile for you. I'm going to be doing my last deck before the release of Circuit Break and the advent of Spirals. I'm not sure too much about that deck yet. That's actually my next project once I'm done here. I'm going to go check that out and try to learn a little bit more about it. But this is a deck that I've been playing for fun. The format is great, actually. I love the current format, but it went by pretty quickly, and without a lot of events that I was able to make it to, I started playing a casual deck kind of pretty early on just for the fun of it. So I got to build something that I was really interested in last format when I saw it, which is Volcanic Draco. It's a deck that saw some play last format at a regional or something like that. I took a lot of influence from the list from last format, made some changes as I saw fit, and I've actually been pretty happy with the deck. I think it's really great, and I get to play Volcanic Rocket, which is just one of my favorite cards from way back. So, just going to get into the list, talk about it a little bit. First off, we have 3 Volcanic Rocket. Gone are the days where this is just broken for being a 1900 plus one, which is actually exactly what it was if you go back far enough. This card was just insane, just searching for Blaze Accelerator, and then you were able to get it back from your graveyard, so you only had to play one target, and you could fuel all of your discard costs with a 1900 beater. It's not that good anymore, but it still is a solid body. 1900 is not bad for your normal summon. It's able to beat over a lot of things. Provides a decent amount of pressure, and it provides a body that you contribute for your Dracos. Additionally, we're not playing the original Blaze Accelerator. We're playing Blaze Accelerator Reload, which has a lot more synergy with Volcanic Scattershot, which is our other Volcanic monster, and we are playing 3 of them. Scattershot is great. It lets you, first off, burn your opponent down to apply a lot more pressure than you normally would, since everyone you send to your grave does 500. And it lets you regeki your opponent's board, so you're able to protect yourself a little bit from something like a big Pendulum Summon board or your opponent's board of Draco monsters. Then we have our Dracos. 2 Maiden, 2 Masterpiece, and an Ignis. Not too much to say about them. I think that's basically the base minimum for Dracos. I think you have to play the Ignis. It's just too good when you're going second. Maiden and Masterpiece are both great. And I don't think that this deck, the way I have it built currently, has any room for anything like a Draeth. Then I have 1 copy of Maxi as my last monster. I actually just had... Originally, this was a second copy of Magic Planner, but I felt like from what I've played with the deck, that 2 Magic Planners wasn't really needed. In fact, I'm not sure that we even really need the 1 copy, but it was a card that was in the original list that made me really want to play the deck, so I refused to cut the last one because this isn't something that I'm playing at like a major event. It's something I'm playing for fun. Spells, it's mostly Draco, so we have 3 Terraforming, 3 Diagram, so 6 copies of Diagram. Then we have 3 copies of Heritage and Disciples. Actually, let me backtrack for a second, because these are the only field spells we're playing. I think there's a world where it might be correct to play Set Rotation as well, and then play Domain in the deck. That way you can give your opponent Domain if you just need to burn it. Like, you can't just give them... I mean, you could play Gateway and give it to them, though I don't think that's necessary. But you can give them a field spell that they can't really use while still getting your Diagrams. But you can also, since we don't need an extra deck, in fact, I don't even have one built right now, you can just get your Domain in a situation where that's going to actually be beneficial for you. But the list I have right now, these are my only field spells. Then 6 Draco spells because they're broken. 3 copies of Duality. We're not using our extra deck or special summoning at all. So it's kind of free just to get that much more control of our deck. And then I have 1 copy of Magic Planner, which I kind of already touched on. It's just an extra piece of draw in this deck. It's really good, like with the Blaze Accelerator, actually. It can be really interesting. But I never felt like the second copy was any good. I think the reason for that is I have a lot less targets than the original list, partially because of the limiting of True King's Return, but the 4 Draco Traps, 2 Blaze Accelerator Reload. I'm also not sure we need 2 of these. This is another card that could probably be played as a 1-of, but the fear of Cosmic Cyclone has made me keep 2, just because it's such an integral part of the deck, and if you activate it and it gets Cyclone in response, you can be in a really bad position if you were counting on cycling a Volcanic Scattershot from your hand to make your play. So I decided to keep 2 copies in the deck, even though I don't think it's the strongest card. For those of you who aren't familiar with Blaze Accelerator Reload, you can use it. I'm going to just read it to make sure I don't tell you wrong. The first part's irrelevant. It's called Try Blaze Accelerator while it's in play. But during either player's main phase, you can send a Volcanic card from your hand to the graveyard and then draw a card. You can only use that effect once per turn, and then during either player's main phase, you can banish it from your graveyard to send a Volcanic card from your deck to the grave. So you're able to cycle the Scattershots or extra rockets in your hand to get new cards, which is great. The other big thing is if it's sent to your graveyard, let's say we pop it with Diagram, we can banish it and then dump our scatter shots to blow up our opponent's board and deal a good chunk of damage. I do have some extra continuous traps. They're just extra floodgates, and they go well with the Magic Planner. So I have 2 copies of Fragrance, and then Imperial Order and Skill Drain. You can make a pretty strong argument for playing the 3rd Fragrance over Imperial Order. I decided, because, like I said before, this deck is pretty weak to Cyclone, that I'd rather mix them up and have Order in my deck, though. Then our last cards are 2 copies of Jar of Avarice, and Jar is going to let us grind forever, so we're always able to recycle our Draco engine, we're always able to recycle our scatter shots, most importantly, so we can always put these back into our deck to get another Regeki and another 1500 damage. Another card that you can play to do the same thing that I really wanted to use, now I don't have it on me, is Royal Firestorm Guards. If you're not familiar with him, he's a level 4 monster that shuffles 4 Pyros back into your deck to draw 2 when he's normal summoned. Unfortunately, the only Pyros we have are our scatter shots and rockets. Scatter Shot's going to instantly fuel 3/4 of that, but to have to say we're going to have a rocket in our grave to put back in each time felt like I was asking a little bit too much, plus it's an additional normal summon. So I went with 2 copies of Jar as my recycling tools. So this is the deck I've been playing for fun, though. I think it's a blast to play. It's really grindy, really fair, so it's not like you're playing Pendulum Magician or any of the Turbo Draco decks. It's kind of a lot more laid back, but it's still able to compete with the best decks out there, so I find that to be very fun. If you have any questions about the deck or comments, let me know down below. If you guys think this will be able to keep up in the Spiral meta in a couple weeks, let me know down there. I don't know what that's going to require us to do, but I'm excited to see how the meta shapes up moving forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for a lot more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content coming soon. Thanks for watching.